Okay, so this video is not a how to build one of these portable solar power stations. It is a more of a that I made a battery backup for my solar portable power station. So this is the power station. Um, Again, there's like hundreds of YouTube videos on how to make this. So I kind of watched those videos and said, you know, I had batteries, I got this, I'll go buy the box and make it. And that's where we're at. And again, there are many channels out there on how to make this. This is more on just how I got 4 12-volt lithium iron phosphate batteries, 2 in here and 2 in the backup battery pack that I will show you in a bit. And you can learn how to make these on someone else's channel. I just want to show you my idea on what I did. So we'll get all the close-ups of all the parts. Not so much digging into the box and tearing things apart to look at them, maybe a little bit, because I don't want to do that. Because again, there's a lot of channels out there that show you how to make these. So in the front, we have 2 USB, and I'm not sure if the fronts are just regular USB or C's, and 2 outlets. And then on this side, we have the 2, probably the C, I think, a power on-off switch. In the back, we have the fan, and on this side, we have a vent, and that was the last thing I installed today. It took me several days to wait for parts and to make this, and I'll talk about that a little more. And then an Anderson port for, and the way I set this up was I can charge it from this port. I can change the other end of the Anderson plug there and put solar, or I can put my plug into the house 120-volt charger in there, because it just ties into the batteries. That one Anderson port ties into everything, or ties into the batteries, and you can just use that same port for solar, for the battery backup, and to charge it with your lithium iron phosphate battery charger. Plug it into the wall. All of those have an Anderson connection on the end, and I can do all 3: solar, plug it into the wall, backup battery into that. And let me see if I can manipulate this a little bit. In here. Okay guys, so in here we have 2 12.8 volt 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate batteries connected in parallel, so which makes it 200 amp hour 12.8 volt, and you know what whatever the heck the math is on that, for 2,400 and something, or more, a little more than that. I'm not a mathematician. I mean, I know simple math, but I'm not going to do it in my head very well, so that's a rough estimate, right? Okay, the Anderson adapter, positive goes to one side of the parallel, the negative goes to the other side, so it draws or charges across the batteries, right? And then the draw is from the opposite ends. So again, you know, you don't want to put your draw on this battery or your charge on this battery. You want to crisscross them. And if that doesn't make sense, I don't know how else to explain it. All right. And that's about, I think, really all I want to show you in there. Let me pop this baby back in. I'll plug it back in later. The fuse for all the 12-volt stuff's right there. The light, the fan. And one thing I think I forgot to tell you is there is two on-off buttons for the light and the fan right there. All right. When I turn it on, you're probably gonna not be able to see it because we're outdoors. So there you go. Gives you state of charge and what the volts are, and then the temperature. There's a little temperature probe, and as you see, we got that wired and strapped down. It goes all the way down to the fuse box, and then those are the two adapters, push button adapters for power to the fan and light. And that's about it for this box. Again, go watch the other channels and learn how to make these. This is more about a little bit about showing off. I don't think anybody out there, and once they see this channel and see this idea, you're probably going to see videos popping up like crazy for the DIY backup battery pack for this. So that's what's next. So like I said, once everybody sees, once all the big time YouTube video makers see this, they're going to copy this. They're going to get all the fame and glory. They're going to get all the views, all the clicks, and all the money. And that's okay. Just know that we're the first. So this is a DIY backup battery pack that I made based on when I was looking at buying the store made solar power generators. And I was like, no, I got the batteries, I got the inverter, and I got wires. Why don't I just do this myself and make a backup battery myself? So here we go. Two 100 amp hour 12.8 volt lithium iron phosphate batteries, plus the other two makes like what, 5,000 watt hours of power combined. Same concept as the other box. All right, it's just batteries, right? I also did put 2 ports and then a cigarette charger on this one, 2 ports on this side, the power button and the on-off switch for the light. No fan, because this shouldn't really generate any heat, but I did put a vent port on this side and the Anderson adapter on this here side to plug in to the other battery. Same thing. We crisscrossed the, get them fingers out of there. We crisscrossed the power in, whether it's solar, battery charger, whatever, as long as the other end is Anderson and it goes to your solar or to your battery charger. We fused the hell out of everything. We put a 12-volt fuse in there. We have the light there. We have the same monitor here. And that one I programmed to shut off on its own when it'll shut off in like 10 seconds or something. And this is like, you got to almost figure out how to do this yourself with the very little information. I'm not going to do a parts list. You got to just find stuff on your own, man. Or maybe that's why the big time YouTube guys get all the clicks and the money and I don't. Because I don't got the time to do full-time YouTube video stuff. You know, it's work to make these videos, even short ones, and to keep pumping them out every week. You literally cannot have a job and do this at the same time, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But that's the battery backup. And then here is the Anderson adapter that I made to plug this in to the other box, which I'll show you right now. So I can have the 5,000 plus watt hours from both boxes. So let's go do that now. So there is my solar power generator with the backup battery box connected to it. Okay. Obviously, those of you who know your tools and your manufacturers and makers, you would know this is a Home Depot box. You'll see that on the other channels, they're using every box in the world, from Harbor Freight to Home Depot's Rigid to, I don't know if anyone's done Husky yet, Milwaukee, so doesn't matter. I just like this one. These boxes, they appeal to me. All right, so normally I wear my mic and I put everything on a tripod, but today we're free ranging it. I don't know what the hell. So again, professional videography here, baby. Plug that into that. And now I have a power station that I can run with 5,000 plus watt hours of power. Battery backup, DIY, solar power station with DIY backup battery pack. So let's do one more addition to this. Okay, and this is my last add-on to this package. And this is just a smaller case that snaps on. And all this is all my wires and my two lithium iron phosphate battery chargers. Everything with Anderson connectors, DIY. There's one of these came with the Anderson connectors, and that's where I got the idea to convert all this to Anderson connectors from. I was like, heck, man, you can do your solar wires, you can do your charger wires, you can do all your wires to connect into these and charge them however you want. So that's all that is my wire box. And I do carry a voltmeter in here to check. And this is pretty heavy, but the wheels and the handles are very sturdy and they handle this really well. Portable. So very happy with it. Very happy with everything. So here's my one final thought on my little setup here as we grab a seat here to relax. Is a lot of these guys on their channels who make these things say, this is an easy one-day build. Well, they must be one hell of a freaking mechanic, because the average Joe Schmo, which I am the average Joe Schmo, I have a lot of tools and I'm decent at customizing. I'm not an expert, guys. I did there's some scratches and gouges on these boxes. They hide really well because you slip, you trip, you pop, you whatever. This is not an easy build. I mean, one mistake and you ruined I know that bottom box is like $69, 70 something dollars. One slip up and you ruin $70. All right. If you want to keep them pretty looking, I mean, I guess, I put this not at moderate work, but a little above moderate, not advanced, but it's not easy, guys. I mean, I'm an all-around jack of all trades, master of none. I built my own house. I do my own electrical. I do my own plumbing. This channel is about monster making, doing the Halloween props. I'm not an electrician. I've learned a lot over the years. I mean, I'm an old guy, so you get a lot of experience in life and doing stuff and customizing and making stuff. This is not easy, guys. If you have basic skills, I don't know, if you got basic tools, you don't have the tools you need to do this. All right. And the amount of customizing, there's a lot. And I think the basic average guy like me, it took me days. I mean, I've been working on this I would say today I'm finally finished because I got my vents in. To order the parts, to figure out what you need, to get everything right. No, it's not easy. Call me an idiot, I don't care. I've been called that a lot in my lifetimes. This is not easy. It's not easy to make these. So when these guys on these channels are telling you that, you know, these guys are probably like pros or something, or just really, 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 really good at making stuff. I'm really, really good at making stuff, but I thought this was difficult, and I thought to myself, the average Joe Schmo with very, very basic customization skills and tools and limited knowledge on electronics and electricity, you are going to have a hard time. So slam me if you want. Say I'm an idiot. Say I'm wrong. That's fine. I don't care. Those are all things I've been called my whole life. You're not going to hurt my feelings none. But I put this at semi-difficult level. Not easy. My thoughts. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it gives you some ideas on how to make yourself a super double whammy power station like this. 5,000, whatever the hell the math is. 12.8 times 100 times 4 watt hours. And I know another thing, people say, well, you can't connect the batteries like that with those wires. But like, possess a lot different length and blah blah blah. And like, well then why does you know, all these other companies get to do it and we can't? They're, you know, when they make these professional power stations and their backup batteries, they have to have the extra wires there. Pardon me while I cough. So I don't know, guys. Like I said, this thing hasn't blown up yet. I only gave it one really, really big test so far. I have not tested it with the extended battery pack yet. I don't know when I'm going to test it. I have had them plugged in for days. Nothing's blown up. Nothing's caught fire. I mean, so far, everything's worked pretty decently. The only one that got a big test was the bottom one, the first one I made. And I don't know when I'm going to do a test where I run the batteries down with that connected to that, the backup connected to the main solar generator. So, that's it for this video. Thank you. Until the next project or crazy idea, later, folks.